Ecuador's iconic presidential palace. It dates back to the 16th century. It was here that CGTN was invited for a conversation with Lenin Moreno, the country's centre-left president. We spoke first about his upcoming visit to China. China is a major lender to this small Latin American nation. It owns about 18% of its external debt.
China is one of the principal strategic partners of Ecuador.
We're going to increase many of our exports to China and increase imports. We will talk to President Xi Jinping about the possibility of financing, which we want in order to develop the nation. Remember that we took charge of this country with many problems, a country almost destroyed.
That was a criticism of his predecessor, Rafael Correa. The spat between the two men is unusual, as Moreno was Correa's former vice president and chosen successor. But since taking office, Lenin Moreno has distanced himself from the policies of Correa, and Correa has hurled insults at him over social media. Does it hurt you, though, when he calls you a traitor?
No, porque no leo sus...
I never read his tweets, said the president. This has been a controversial week for Moreno. His vice president resigned amid corruption allegations. And the ongoing situation of Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, who spent the last 6 years in the Ecuador embassy in London, has again been in the news, with reports that the Ecuadorian president spoke last year to the US lobbyist Paul Manafort to discuss a deal whereby Mr. Assange would be traded for debt relief from the US.
No, absolutamente not.
Absolutely not true, said the president, who insisted he only spoke to Mr. Manafort about a possible Chinese investment that came to nothing. As for Mr. Assange, he had this to say.
Despite the political difficulties Assange has provoked with our allies, Ecuador has also made a large expenditure to maintain him there. But he has to comply with certain conditions. Whether you are a welcome guest or not, you have to comply with the conditions of your hosts.
The president is only 7 months into his first term, but already the leader, famous for his sense of humour, is expressing doubts as to whether he will put his name forward again. Will you again stand to be president of Ecuador?
If you ask me now, the answer would be no. But after a couple of years, who knows? We can change our minds. Maybe I turn sinister and fall in love with power. Let's see what the future holds. But personally, I think not.
He is the world's only head of state in a wheelchair, paralyzed since 1998 when he was shot by thieves attempting to steal his car. He's since become an advocate for disabled rights all over the world. Disability, he says, really can be an opportunity.
It leads to new capabilities, new challenges, new opportunities, new types of knowledge that allow you to live a true and fulfilling life.
Stephen Gibbs, CGTN, Quito.